So this is the Optik 200 shot challenge. So we did the JRZ last time. I have the Lefebvre or the True 12.2 that we're going to be doing really shortly just after this. But I wanted to use this glove because I have experience with this glove. I generally know how like the protection is in games and stuff, so I want to use this first before jumping to the game ready 12.2. So we're going to do this one 100 shots. Before we begin that, if you want to see me do more actual reviews and if my content helps you out, please reach out to the manufacturers on social media and let them know you want to see hockey reviews, review their stuff. Otherwise, if you want to support the channel so I can buy stuff and actually do real reviews on it. And if you live in the United States, check out the link in the description to Pure Hockey, Pure Goalie. Clicking that link, making a purchase gives me a kickback, so I keep making more content and doing real reviews. Otherwise, if you want to support the channel, check out Patreon and buy me a coffee. Links in the description. Everything that goes through there comes right back into the channel so I can keep doing this and making more content.
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.
Yeah. So this video is kind of interesting because this is, at the time and right now, my favorite glove to use and my overall favorite glove that I own. The only one I like more than this is the Brian's GNetik 4. Just something about that glove, I could catch pretty well with it, and it just worked really well for me, and I never really felt a shot. This one is basically my second all around, and it didn't really look like that at the beginning of this video. Interestingly enough, the footage of this should kind of speak to what I'm about to say. There are gloves that work better at different speeds, I find. Some gloves have crazy pop-ups outs at higher speeds. Other ones do a pretty good job of funneling pucks at higher speeds. So I find that a lot of the slower shots that kind of hit here just bounce out, and I can't close it in time. It kind of just bounces out. But then any of the harder shots that hit here kind of hit here and just go into the pocket. So it's kind of weird. I really found that the harder shots that we're shooting and compared to the lower ones were easier in terms of anything that hit it more or less went into the pocket compared to slower. So this glove, for a second, is kind of like a 600 CCM break. It's not totally, but it's what I found is closest to it. My closest glove to this one is my Ultrasonic glove, and my Warrior G5 is somewhat similar. This glove, I feel, feels pretty natural to close and everything. It doesn't close perfect. It does feel like the palm gets in away a little bit here. I found with my Optik 1, basically after a while, this piece right here would kind of go over itself, and the closure was a lot worse than it was when I got it. This hasn't been used nearly enough to do that. Closure is still pretty good. It doesn't really flap close, but I don't really care that much. It does if you go like that, but just like this, it doesn't. This is a pro palm, and protection on it was pretty good. You can hear me when I feel shots and stuff. Most of them are basically right here where you feel them, and then the ones right in the middle you feel as well, but those are less often. Most of the ones here you end up feeling a bit when it's harder, but this did a pretty good job, and you'll see a game ready in the future of that true 12.2 that I really felt a lot. This one was nowhere near that. This one was much better. I also felt a couple on the fingers too, but it wasn't bad at all. It was pretty good for that. The one thing I did notice in this video too is most of the stuff off here ends up kind of tilting and then dropping down for an easy recovery and easy save on the rebound, as opposed to the stuff over here that kind of bounces out more. Anything that kind of hit here did an interestingly enough good job of coming right between my knees, and it was like an easy thing, so it was kind of interesting there. I got a reinforced tee on this, and there's going to be a moment where you see the pocket flatten this tee totally, and I'll overlay it right now. And that is one of the reasons I got a reinforced tee on this. I found with my Optik 1 and my GNetik 4, pucks would sometimes make it go like this, and whether it was hitting this or what, and it would make this happen. This can still happen. Carey Price was demoing a pair of Optik 2s that actually looked pretty similar to what this design was. And in one of the videos of him demoing this from last year, it was like in the bubble, his tee went like that too. So I go with a reinforced tee for this just to kind of try to assist with that a little bit. The way Brian's tees work, or at least this one, so there is basically plastic right here and then plastic from here down to here, but there's nothing from here to right here. So when you close this, basically this little piece right here, there's no plastic in it to allow it to close, and that kind of allows it to do that a little bit. It's not a huge issue, but it's why I went with that reinforced design on that. This glove is also very interesting because I find just the way that it's balanced, that pucks that are really shot into here or here make it tip. And now one, obviously that's part of my arm strength, but that I notice it more on this glove than I do other gloves. So a hard shot in the pocket really makes the glove kind of go like this, and ones off here really make it kind of go like this. There's a couple that hit here and my hand just goes like that. There's another one that hits here and my hand goes like that, and that was a goal that was scored on Carey Price in the playoffs. So this is going to date this video, but it happened a few days ago where he went to stop a low shot, hits right here. It was a 99-mile-per-hour shot, tilts his hand, and the puck goes in because he couldn't close it and like squeeze it. It happens. But for me, I noticed with this glove, just like the way the balance is when pucks really hit here, it kind of feels like it goes like that, and it kind of tips and it kind of folds backwards. It does. Obviously, there's nothing up here, right, to really weigh this glove down because this is all pretty lightweight compared to the bulk of the glove. But that is what I noticed when it's happening. One thing I do want to comment on here, what I had some issues with, is this piece is just like so far forward on the cuff. So this glove doesn't have a huge cuff. You can see it's not really long or anything. And I have gotten some pucks back here when missing on a tip or something, which kind of suck, but that's the design of this. And I want to say this piece right here, I know the normal one is the boa. I swapped that out because I do not like the boa. And with that said, this thing kind of gets in the way with like lower cuff designs. It's just my chest is always slightly pushing it. So you'll see me pushing this glove back on a lot after like making a save or doing anything. And that's just because this gets kind of pushed down a little bit. I could tighten this really tight, but then it's still, with it tight, it still kind of feels like it pushes that down. So it doesn't really do me much because you can see the rest of my hand kind of slide out of it. So I don't really like this part that tight anyways. I don't know if I would ever remove this piece just because I really like the bottom piece, but in reality, the top isn't doing a ton. So maybe in the future, if I order something like this, I'll get this as like deleted. That way I won't have any interference there. But it's just a personal preference thing, and it's something I wanted to mention. I have no problems with this glove like staying on anywhere else. I don't really ever use those straps anyways. So it's not something that's totally needed. So you saw me doing a protection test on the backhand of here where I was kind of holding this against my body and taking pucks off the back. I saw Vasilevsky and Price both use their hand like this in a RVH, kind of like what I'm mimicking in this video. I wanted to do tests on that in terms of seeing how the backhand protection is here. And I started with this glove, and this glove was fine. You feel them, but it's not like an issue or anything. But then I took a puck off the next glove I'm doing, which is 12.2 right here. And my finger hurt for like 12 hours afterwards. And I don't want to risk breaking anything or hurting anything bad. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I wanted to see if these gloves are protective enough in that position, or just like kind of talk about it. But I'm not going to risk myself anymore for that just because it wasn't comfortable enough even at a low shot. So just don't do this in the RVH. Open your glove up like a sane person, and just so you can actually catch pucks too. Now, even though it doesn't really show in this video, this is basically my favorite glove to use when I'm on ice. And if I had to pick any glove off my shelf, this is the one I want to use the most. I haven't had enough time with it on ice because of COVID and everything that's happened in Canada for lockdowns and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to getting back on the ice with this thing when I can. But for me, this glove was always like a favorite of mine when I'm using it, just because I really like the Optik one. This one was just a better version of the Optik one. They changed a bunch of things on here. This has been much more protective than the Optik one was, which was really nice. And it just feels really nice in my hands. It feels like the way I want it to. And I'm pretty comfortable with it. I find it rebounds off the chest and stuff are really good. That's something that I forgot about trying in these videos, which I'll do in the future, where like a puck hits a chest and how does it like catch. So I'll do that in the future. I'll put all the other gloves I've already tested into those future ones just to compare them. But I really love this glove. I think it's one of the better gloves on the market. A huge fan of it. Like I said, it kind of tips a bit, but it feels great. Gloves are always a huge personal preference, and you got to find one that works for you. I've been a fan of the last few iterations of Brian's glove. I'm really looking forward to using the GNetik 5 because I really think that's going to be one of my favorites. About it for the Brian's Optik 2 catching glove 100 puck challenge. Again, huge fan of this glove. I can't wait to get back on the ice with this thing. I think I'm going to clean this up just because it's way dirtier than the rest of the set is, and I kind of feel guilty. So I'll probably clean this up a little bit before I go playing again, just so it's not as black. But yeah, huge fan of this glove, even though it didn't really show it. Looking forward to doing future videos. Make sure you check them out. They will be on my channel. If you want to see me review any company specific gear, let me know in the comments. Also let the company know. I know companies have a ton of demos fleets around. I'd happily use that for a video like this. Kind of like what I did in the True 12.2. That was a stores demo. So a little bit different, but I know companies like CCM and Bauer and Vaughn and them have all like demo fleets. So I'd really happily just grab one of theirs, do a video on this, send it back happily on my dime, and that would be really useful. So if you want to see me review a specific glove, let the company know on social media and let me know as well. And hopefully that will happen in the future so I can do content like this and talk about like protection stuff. This was a Pro Palm. It did a pretty good job. Ones that hurt are 75, 80 miles an hour. It's a hard shot. It's going to happen anyways. So it's not a bad thing at all. It's not like I'm ever worried with this glove at all. So that's a good thing. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Remember, like this video, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Links are in the description. Otherwise, if you're in the United States and want to support the channel and you're buying hockey equipment, check out the links to Pure Hockey. Everything that goes through that link comes right back into the channel, and I get a kickback for every sale, so it'd be greatly appreciated. Check out the links in the description too. Patreon, buy me a coffee, everything there will come right back into the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.